University student leadership takes everyone's effort, including the different heads of department and faculty dean. The Faculty of Engineering being the leading faculty in producing student leaders for the previous years. The dean faculty has this to say on the upcoming guild elections.
The university is now in the process of electing the new guild president after Xavier Walugembe. If you notice, for the past 4 to 5 years, most guild presidents have been from the Faculty of Engineering. And this is because of the numbers. So you notice that unless we have 2 competing candidates from the faculty, it's always a very high chance that an engineering student campaigning for guild president, and even sometimes vice, wins the election. The purpose of this election is to prop up student leadership. When we are training engineers, we are training managers and people who are going to head top government corporations and even private companies. So, in accepting leadership of the student body at the university, we are building them as future leaders of the country.
According to the dean, the student leadership has also helped to bridge the gap between the students and the administration.
The beauty with Ndejje University, the guild president and the guild minister for education are allowed to sit in the disciplinary committee of the students, especially concerning malpractice of exams. This brings them to the forefront on how student issues are handled. And while when they are campaigning, they have this ideal feel of what the university should be doing, how students should be handled when they are in these cases. Sometimes when they are with us in the DC, actually they become even more objective than even us, the trainers, because their colleagues will actually explain how the malpractice happened, and the students themselves will tell us that is unacceptable.
The Faculty Dean of Survey and Engineering, having guild presidents come from his faculty, has helped to connect them to come up with different projects.
The student guild is behind bodies like NOESA, Ndejje University Engineering Student Association. Now we are having FACERIB, Faculty of Engineering and Survey, Research and Innovation Board. It has really helped us since the leaders of the guild occupy most of those positions. Instead of me organizing trips for 1,000 students in a semester, I look for the Students Engineering Association and I'll organize the trip for maybe 50. So the university can afford a coaster for 50 students as opposed to having 10 buses the whole semester. This helps us to cut costs as we recover from COVID, while the core of the students can actually get from some of the things, but it's always from the advocacy of the students. Then the other thing, the guild ministers are always in the office asking, this class they've not been told, then we shall actually put the lecturer to task. These practicals are when our practicals beginning, then as the dean will explain to them, the university is planning to release a check for practical materials on this date. So the student politics is part of the harmony with management and the teaching and learning.
The dean further says that the challenge with the leaders is that they expect much from the administration, and yet there is more to that.
The challenge we have with the student leaders is always the ideal situation. So they believe the university must run like a standard, a perfect system. That is impossible because, first of all, when you look at Ndejje University, all funding to run activities comes from tuition. So a student leader will imagine that the university can allow a student to attend lectures and then restrict them to do exams until they pay fully. But remember, as the university runs for 4 months of the semester, you must pay lecturers, you must buy teaching materials, you must run practicals. So when the university says 60% to attend lectures, the guild may see it as too stringent. Then after 1 month, they'll say 80%. If you don't have that, don't attend lectures. So the guild will be up in arms, but I think as they go on into the leadership, they tend to accept, because sometimes they also want funds to run the activities, but there's no tuition. So they now understand why the university is very strict on.
When talking about the student leadership, he says he appreciates the fact that the elections go beyond race and tribe.
To vote people according to capacity. So this is one of the few universities where you will not find party colors. You won't find NRM, NOP, DP. In Ndejje, it's not there. You will not find people voting because of the name. I'll tell you right now, we have Okoth
as a front runner, and we have Aswa. The former guild president was Walugembe. The leading contender for vice president is Bwambale. So it is our nurturing of our students to vote for people beyond tribe and a background that actually makes it a free race, and whoever wins fairly, and normally the loser concedes first.
The Faculty of Engineering has been the lead in producing guild presidents at the university. However, with a tough race ahead, this is what the faculty dean has to say.
It's very interesting that ASWA has got a lot of support from the Faculty of Engineering. If you look at second and third year, they seem to accept him more. And of course, really has some work to do. Initially, thought it was a very clear run. But from what I'm seeing, students groups having ASWA all over, of course, has really some good work to do if he's to win this race. Because I think even in engineering, they believe in diversity. But because of the numbers still, ASWA has not really more to win the numbers. Others may be a popular candidate, but without the numbers, you cannot win the race.
Mr. Kasumba advises the students to balance between education and politics.
So I encourage students not to lose the ball, because at the end of the day, in a month's time, we shall be doing exams. So as you're campaigning, you're moving from main campus to Kampala or Kampala to main, keep focus or don't miss any lecture. Where you're constrained, talk to us. Maybe where there are special campaigns, we could talk to the lecturers. But the main goal of the semester is having a very good results and a very good transcript to take home.
The guild race in the previous years has been dominated by the students from the Faculty of Engineering. However, with a tough race ahead, the students await the 15th for the University Guild President. Anselm Ojaru, live at 8.